Imagine a world where vampires aren't just, brooding figures lurking in shadows,
Right.
but complex individuals. They're navigating modern life, ancient laws, and honestly, a lot of deep-seated emotional baggage.
Mm-hmm.
What if a vampire's biggest fear wasn't a stake through the heart, but maybe loneliness? Or, and this one stuck with me, a really bad haircut.
It's definitely a different angle, isn't it? Fresher, more relatable, maybe?
Exactly. So today we're doing a deep dive into Barb Hendee's novel, Hunting Memories.
Okay.
Our source material is great. We've got excerpts directly from the book, so we get a really unfiltered look into its world.
Nice. Direct from the source.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And our mission for you today is to unpack the unique vampire lore, the really intricate character relationships, and honestly, the surprising emotional depth of this story.
Sounds good.
We want to give you a comprehensive feel for what makes it so captivating. I mean, the reviews say things like wonderful characters and delicious villains, and an engrossing tale of vampire death and evolution that's, and this is key, in no way a Buffy clone.
Good to know. Sets it apart.
It really does. It blends fantasy, horror, and this journey of a young woman finding independence and sort of self-discovery. Let's get into it.
Let's.
Okay, so let's unpack these characters. They are pretty compelling. Starting with Eleisha. She starts as a caretaker, but really becomes a catalyst.
Uh-huh. Her origin is pretty rough.
Heartbreaking, yeah. Turned by this guy Julian back in 1839. And why? To care for his senile undead father, William.
Wow.
So she spent nearly 170 years as basically a permanent nurse for an eternally demented being.
Imagine that. For centuries.
Yeah.
That kind of burden.
Yeah.
It must have shaped her profoundly.
Oh, absolutely. It created this deep need to be needed. That's how the book puts it.
And it's striking how that initial, burden transforms into a new purpose after William finally dies.
Right.
She gets this mission.
Yeah.
Come, find other lost vampires, create a community, a safe house.
Which is fascinating because despite being turned way back in the 1800s, she's actually pretty well adjusted to the modern world.
Yeah, she adapts.
Yeah.
And her gift is crucial. She's telepathic, seriously potent telepathy.
Potent is the word. She can invade minds, even Julian's. She wields it like a weapon.
And that ability is really central to her independence, her whole plan.
And she's fiercely protective, isn't she? She sees Philip as someone she needs to care for, maybe influence a bit. And Wade, he's her crucial ally.
Which leads us nicely to Philip.
Yeah.
He's the killer with a conscience. And, yeah, the fashion sense.
Yes. Undead since 1819. The book calls him a killer by nature, often bored if he's not hunting, and apparently he used to revel in killing.
Pretty dark past.
But then Eleisha introduces this new way, feeding without killing, altering memories, and he struggles with it a lot.
Yeah, and this is where he gets really complex, I think. Despite that inherent nature, he accepts this bridal, as the book calls it.
Why, though?
Mostly because of his devotion to Eleisha. He wants her approval badly. He's genuinely afraid of losing her more than he craves the kill, maybe.
That need for connection again, even for him.
Exactly. It highlights how fundamental that can be, even for, ancient killers.
And okay, we have to talk about the vanity. This ancient killer is weirdly sensitive about his appearance.
The hair.
The hair. His worry over his shabby 80s rock star hair and wanting this overpriced gay stylist named Ricardo for $300.
It's such a memorable detail, isn't it? So humanizing.
Totally stuck with me.
And it perfectly captures that struggle, maybe humorous, of immortals trying to fit into changing human norms.
Yeah.
But his loyalty is no joke either. Fiercely protective of Eleisha, even when he disagrees with her, like when he kicks Julian out a window for her.
Oh, okay. Yeah, definite loyalty points there.
You bet.
All right, continuing with the group, there's Wade, the mortal telepath,
Yeah.
the reluctant ally.
His position is really unique. Born telepathic, but human. Gives him essential skills, but also that crucial human perspective.
And he wasn't always mixed up in vampire stuff, right? He was a police psychologist before all this.
Yeah, which informs his role now. He's kind of the group's moral compass.
Makes sense.
He brings this real sense of empathy, often the voice of caution. And he finds purpose, it seems, in teaching the vampires to feed without killing, saving mortal lives.
That's a heavy responsibility for a human in that world.
It is. And while he has, let's say, conflicted feelings about Philip,
Understandable.
he's deeply connected to both him and Eleisha. And he's often the practical one, setting up DVDs, cooking, booking travel, just quietly supporting Elisha's vision.
The essential glue guy. Okay, next up, Rose Dispenser, a fearful elder, kind of a hidden matriarch.
Her story is properly tragic. Born in Scotland, 1790, skilled midwife,
Okay.
then turned by this Edward Claymore in a really brutal attack that also killed her nephew, Seamus.
Oh, wow. That's awful.
Yeah, and that trauma just crippled her,
Hmm.
left her with this profound fear of travel, of unknown places, led to centuries of isolation.
Centuries.
I
It's
don't
hard
know.
to fathom. What about her gift?
Edward called it her gift. It's a powerful voice of wisdom, a persuasive ability she uses when hunting.
And her only companion for all that time.
Her nephew, Seamus, the one who died. He became a transparent ghost, eternally 17, tied directly to Rose.
A ghost companion. Wow.
He's actually the one who found Eleisha eventually.
Ah, so he leads them together. And Rose, after all that isolation, reaches out to Eleisha. She hopes to create this, what does she call it? An Elizabeth Bathory underground.
Yeah,
Oh.
quite a name. Evokes something shadowy, maybe a bit infamous. But for her, it's about a safe haven for hidden vampires.
That yearning for community again. It's a really strong thread.
It really is.
Now, the flip side. Julian. The obsessed hunter, the fearmonger.
Julian, yeah. His dark past really defines him. He turned his dying father, William, into that eternally demented vampire we mentioned.
Right, the one Eleisha cared for.
And then he turned Eleisha specifically to be William's caretaker. It was basically an act to cover his own mistake, his own, perhaps, guilt or fear.
So manipulation from the start.
Pretty much. And that's tied to his core paranoia now. His main gift is instilling immense fear. He's a master manipulator to terror.
And he hunts other telepaths.
Systematically.
Yeah.
Believes they're a threat to him, to his secrets. He's especially afraid of Eleisha after she managed to invade his mind and, as the book says, terrified him into leaving her alone.
Payback, so he has an assistant too.
A ghostly one, yeah. Mary Jourdain. A rebellious teenage ghost he summons to spy on Eleisha. He seems to have contempt for her, but finds her useful.
Ghosts as spies. This world keeps getting more complex.
Definitely. And that brings us to Robert Brighton, the soldier, the griever, the survivor.
He sounds ancient.
He is. Elder vampire from the 16th century. Was a soldier in mortal life, turned by someone named Jacenia. Lean, broken nose. Often seems lonely, but inaccessible.
What's his gift?
It's interesting, a kind of seductive charm, offering protection and journey. It's described as a mirror image of Elisha's gift. In a way, he could entrance mortals with visions of travel and adventure.
But there's grief there too.
Profound grief. He lost Jacenia to Julian's attack back in 1826. He's carried the agony of her absence for centuries.
So that fuels his hatred for Julian.
Absolutely. He lived night to night, didn't care where he was, just enduring.
And he knows the old ways.
Yeah, he's a keeper of the old vampire laws, like the one about not killing to feed, which is why he initially judges Eleisha and Philip, seeing their methods as ignorant or worse.
Adds another layer of tension.
And he has history. Knew Angelo, who was Julian's maker, and he actually remembered Philip from Angelo's records. The makers and their children recalled him as this untamed, violent creature back then.
Wow, small world, even for immortals. Okay, let's dig into the lore itself, the vampire mechanics. The turn happens by drinking vampire blood, often after a traumatic bite.
Right, and it's not always voluntary, not always gentle, which, immediately complicates the idea of it being a gift.
Good point. And each vampire gets a unique psychic gift when turned.
Exactly. Elisha's telepathy, Philip's killer instinct, Rose's voice of wisdom, Julian's fear, Robert's seductive protection. There's another one, Jasper, with pity. It makes them individuals, not just a species, each struggling with their power.
And central to the story is that idea of feeding without killing.
Crucial. It's a learned ability for some telepaths. Wade teaches Eleisha and Philip. Later, Robert teaches Rose.
How does it work?
They siphon blood, sustain themselves, but then alter the victim's memories. Avoid outright murder. It's not just survival. It's presented as a core law among many older vampires. Creates a real ethical split.
So a moral versus monstrous divide.
Pretty much sums it up. Physically, they stop aging but keep mortal scars, like Philip's cigar burns. Wounds heal fast. Sunlight, lethal. Standard stuff there.
Okay. And their society.
It's informal. A network of elders, Angelo, Demetrio, Christina, Adalric, Jacenia, who recorded histories and laws, including that main one, don't kill to feed.
And Julian's actions, turning his father hunting telepaths, are a massive breach of these laws.
Big time. He's breaking the code.
Now, what about the ghosts? You mentioned Mary and Seamus. The book has some unique ghost mechanics.
Yeah, it lays out 3 planes. The real world, the gray in-between plane for spirits who refuse death, and the afterlife.
Okay, so death isn't simple either.
Not at all. Ghosts can be tied to a person, like Seamus is to Rose, or a place like these earthquake ghosts in San Francisco.
Tied to a person, so when the person dies.
The ghost usually passes on too. But Mary Jourdain, Julian's spy, she's different.
How so?
She can blink in and out of nothingness,
Yeah.
travel freely, materialize inside walls, gives her way more freedom, makes her an amazing spy. It sort of fits her personality. She was apparently an attention-seeking, defiant teenager in life.
Her ghost form carries that forward. Makes sense. And Seamus.
Still looks eternally 17, wears his blue and yellow Scottish plaid, keeps his accent. He's Rose's transparent guide, a constant link to her past.
Okay, so let's pivot to key plot points. It kicks off with Elisha's vision, right? Building the underground.
Yeah, she finds this sturdy old church in Portland, 2-foot-thick walls, built 1902, used to belong to another vampire.
Yeah.
She leases it for $4,000 a month. She's serious.
This is commitment.
And it's more than just a building. It's her response to all that isolation. It's her trying to forge this chosen family.
Which leads to the gathering. Elisha reaches out to Rose.
And Rose, using old newspapers, finds Robert.
So suddenly you have Elisha, Philip, Wade, Rose, Seamus, and Robert all converging. A really diverse group.
Spanning centuries, different types of beings.
Yeah. And this growing community is exactly what sets Julian off.
Totally. His paranoia about telepaths, about the old laws, it ignites. He uses Mary to track Eleisha. He wants to destroy Robert, who he thought he'd already killed, by the way.
Complex history there.
And he wants to stop this community from forming. He sees Eleisha as his hound to find other telepaths for him to eliminate.
And he creates another vampire.
Yeah, Jasper. Makes him controllable, gives him the gift of pity, somehow thinking that'll help his cause.
Okay, things escalate in San Francisco, right? That's a big confrontation.
Major turning point. The group flies there to meet Rose. Wade's cautious, hides a Beretta in his suitcase.
Narmo.
During the trip, Philip, who was kind of bored with Elisha's non-lethal hunting game, slips up. He makes a violent kill and actually enjoys it. Shows he's still struggling with that bridle.
The killer nature bubbling up.
Then Jasper and Mary attack Rotto's at the train station. Chaos ensues.
And Wade steps up.
Big time. He sacrifices his own blood to save Rose, which gives Robert the chance to explain how Rose can feed without killing using her own gift. It's a critical moment for the group's survival and understanding.
But they get separated.
Yeah. Eleisha and Robert end up split from Philip, Wade, and Rose. Leads to this desperate escape situation.
Okay, so what happens with Elisha and Robert?
They're on a different train, heading towards Portland, and they realize Julian's not going to stop. He's relentless.
So they need a plan.
Exactly.
Wow.
Eleisha reveals she's used her psychic invasion power against Julian before, proving she can hurt him.
The time she terrified him.
Right. So they devise this plan. Bait Julian in Salem. Robert will be the lure. Eleisha will use her telepathy to immobilize Julian so Robert can strike.
High stakes. And during this journey, we learn more about Robert.
A lot more. Through this intense shared memory dive with Eleisha, she basically experiences his entire life.
Wow. Like what?
His service to some lord, his deep love for Jasenia, her gift, which was about adventure, Angelo breaking the laws, Julian's original rampage, and how Julian killed Robert the first time using a telepathic glamour, a trick.
So that explains everything about Robert. His grief, his hatred for Julian, his commitment to the laws.
Exactly. It gives incredible depth to his motivations. And it shows Julian's long history of violence against his own kind.
What happens to the others? Philip, Wade, Rose?
They make their own dramatic escape from their train,
Yeah.
literally jump off, steal a car. They're determined to meet Eleisha and Robert in Portland, wherever Robert is.
And Robert doesn't make it.
No. He dies in the confrontation with Julian. It hits Eleisha hard, obviously. But Philip steps in, helps her refocus on the mission. He says something like, "We lost Robert, but Rose is here, and we'll find more."
Pushing forward. Okay, let's pull back and look at the bigger picture. The themes. Chosen family versus isolation seems huge here.
Absolutely huge. It's not just about finding friends. It really challenges that idea of immortality being this solitary burden. It suggests even eternal life needs connection, needs conscious effort to build meaning, especially when the turn shatters old ties.
It really questions that fundamental need for connection, right? Even for the undead.
Definitely. Then there's the weight of immortality. It's not just a perk.
No kidding.
Each character struggles with it. Elisha's centuries of service, Philip's boredom needing constant stimulation, Rose's fear of change after trauma, Robert's endless grief, Julian's consuming paranoia.
Immortality comes with serious psychological baggage. You have to find new purposes or get swallowed by the past.
Precisely. It forces adaptation or decay, in a sense.
Which connects to identity and adaptation. We see Philip and Eleisha navigating the modern world pretty well. Others, like Rose and Robert, are more stuck in the past, initially anyway.
And their gifts shape their identities, how they interact with everything. Philip's hair anxiety, we keep coming back to it.
Yeah.
It's funny, but it says so much about trying to fit into new norms while still being Philip.
Maintaining yourself across centuries, that's got to be tough.
For sure. And guilt, forgiveness, and redemption are woven throughout, too.
Like Eleisha feeling guilt over William.
Yeah. Or Edward Claymore feeling bad about abandoning Rose. Right, feeling shame about her forced feeding experiences. The whole Safe House project feels like a path to redemption for many of them. A chance to do something positive, build something new.
A collective attempt at finding purpose, maybe healing.
Could be. And finally, the nature of control. It's a constant battleground.
Julian wants total control, right? Eliminate threats.
While Eleisha is fighting for agency, for self-determination, for herself and for others, she wants to gather.
So it's external control over others, but also internal. Control over their gifts, their hunger, their emotions.
Exactly. That struggle defines their alliances, their conflicts, everything.
So wrapping up this deep dive, it's clear Hunting Memories isn't just another vampire story.
Not at all. It's this rich tapestry. Interwoven lives, ancient laws, really unique powers, and these deeply human or, deeply undead emotions.
We've seen characters really grappling with their pasts, finding new reasons to exist, building this unlikely chosen family against some pretty formidable odds.
And reshaping what it means to be immortal along the way.
So what's the takeaway for you listening? This deep dive shows how, even in fantasy, those universal themes, belonging, identity, the consequences of choices, they really hit home. It reminds us that purpose can pop up in unexpected places, and that sometimes the most unlikely alliances lead to, well, extraordinary outcomes. It forces us to keep redefining our own place.
And it pushes us to think about the long view, maybe. How personal history, ancient rules, even fictional ones, shape everything we do now, pushing us towards connection, or maybe towards isolation like Julian.
That's a great point. Which leads us to a final thought for you to mull over. If immortality gave you endless time, but also locked in every memory, every loss, the constant risk of losing anyone you connect with, would that journey still be worth the price? What would you fight for if you lived forever?